Hey, welcome to Yoga How To. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about aging. I've got a story to tell you about when I was out in Cleveland a couple weeks ago and hanging out in the gym. So this is a pretty funny one. Hang out. We'll get right into it. Okay, so I was at the rec center in Medina recently, and it's whenever I go out there once a year, I love to go to the rec center. I'm taking a shower, and I hear three guys talking, and they're older guys because everybody at the rec center is an older guy. And midday, midweek rec center men's locker room talk, recommend 10 out of 10. So anyway, the guy starts going, the three guys are talking. One guy walks away and the other guy calls the other guy Jack. He says, oh, okay, so your name's Jack? And he goes, no, my name's not Jack. And he goes, well, why did that guy call you Jack? He goes, I have no idea why he called me Jack. And he's like, well, what's your name? He goes, Jim. He goes, oh. And then the guy walks back up and he goes, wait a minute, your name's not Jack? And he goes, no. He goes, well, I've been calling you Jack for years. Why haven't you told me? He goes, well, why do I call you Jack? He says, I have no idea. And he goes, well, who else calls you Jack? He goes, you're it, solamente. And he goes, well, I've been calling you Jack for years. Why haven't you told me your name isn't Jack? He goes, I don't know. I just thought I'd let you run with it. So that's just a preamble to me getting to meet these guys. So I sit down, I'm changing clothes. Jim is talking to me, and of course he's got a knee brace on, and he's an older gentleman, like I said, and he just starts cutting into about how he's 76 and he'll be lucky to make it to 80. He's like, if I could just make it to 80, I'll check my card when I'm 80. And I'm just like, wow, people in my bloodline, I expect to live well past 80. I hope to. I really hope to. And this guy's like, if I could just get to 80, that'll be enough. God bless him. But he asked me what I do for a living, and I'm like, well, I'm a yoga teacher. Go into a little bit about that, and he's asking me, silly questions people always ask yoga teachers, like things like, oh, can you put your leg behind your head? These kinds of things. I'm like, okay, stop. But no, I was polite. I didn't say that. But it always makes me cringe a little bit on the inside that people think yoga is about like tucking yourself into a pretzel. So the guy's been calling him Jack for a number of years, walks up and he goes, so you, Mr. Yoga Man? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I got something to tell you. I'm like, okay. And he goes, in the 70s, I moved to the Bahamas and dedicated my life and took a vow or oath of devotion to Swami Satchitananda and lived out there on the ashram for 3 years, teaching yoga 7 days a week, waking up every day, doing the chanting. And he goes, for the last year out there, though, I switched. I was no longer with them, and I joined the Shivananda and was with this Vishnu Devananda, something like that. And I stayed with him for a while until I just decided to, come back and be a salesman. He goes, but I'll tell you this, Swami Satchitananda, he walked the walk, whereas this other guy, and I don't remember his name, he didn't. He was eating pizza and drinking Cokes all the time, which is funny because, once again, it's like, you can eat pizza and be a yogi. It's okay. But I kind of get what he was saying, because he was like, I was doing the whole thing, chanting in the morning, the yoga diet, and I'll tell you what, I used to be able to do headstand, and I could hold headstand for 15 minutes, but it screwed my neck up, so I don't do that anymore. But I'd still do yoga every single morning. It's how I met my wife, and this and that goes on. So Jim, sitting there listening to the whole thing, and then eventually it kind of comes around to, well, how old are you? How long ago was this? Start putting together the pieces of the puzzle, and it's like, how old are you? And of course, you got to understand, like, Jack is sitting there. This is a man who's got stuff around both knees. He does look like he's ready to check out of his body. Like, no judgment, but like when he says, I got 4 more years in me, this guy's had a ride. And then this guy, he's standing here. He's got like leather gloves on. He's ready to go, like, lift some weights, go ready to do some things. He's fit. He's looking good. And he says he's 76 too. So it was just a really nice reminder for me that, like, we especially in our modern kind of like co-opted health and wellness quasi version of yoga, of bending into pretzels and being pure and doing headstands for 15 minutes. You know, we're so aesthetically focused still. And yeah, I definitely am guilty of judging a book by its cover. But here's the thing, is like mobility is it's such an unsexy practice. Like just stretching your body, just keeping the prana moving in your body day in, day out. And it gets annoying. It's like, because it brings you up against whatever your body's resistances are, your shortcomings. You have to deal with them. And in fact, those are probably the areas you need to focus on a daily basis. And I get that way with like my ankle mobility, my calves. It's like days I just like, I don't want to do this. Will somebody stretch my calves? I'm so sick of stretching my calves because, yeah, they need it every day. And the alternative is, if I don't do it, I'm going to be sick of my body in a totally different way. So it's a good reminder that mobility, stretching, yoga, all these things, staying vital till you're old, it is literally either, as you age, death by 1,000 paper cuts, or it's simply just doing the boring, not sexy work of chopping wood, carrying water every day, day in, day out. That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm glad I got that little reminder, but it was so cool to just be like standing there in this gym, smelling the smells with these two old guys, and just, you know, it was a nice, so thank you, Medina. Thank you, Rec Center out there, Medina. Names have been changed from the original, so don't look up these people, but I think it's really cool that, like, when I ended that conversation, I told the guy, I said, well, thank you for doing the work that you did all that time ago to make yoga more known and accessible and something that people can have invitation into for a practice. Because it was this guy teaching yoga all these years ago, and here I am on the shoulders of what he's doing at this kind of new avant-garde, or whatever you want to call it, this new front line of where contemporary yoga is. And as a 46-year-old man, kind of one foot in the world of like still trying to be as fit and athletic as I was even in my 30s, but this other foot of like, you know, really listening to my body and taking care of it, and a whole new level of appreciation as, you know, you age and things happen and you don't believe it until it happens to you. I'll tell you what, I am so grateful for the practice. I'm so grateful for the teachers who've come before me, so grateful for the people who've dedicated their lives to practice, who made it a thing. So people who support your communities, who support your teachers, who support your studios, man, let's age together. Let's age gracefully. Anyway, thanks for listening to my story. Please like, share, follow, and comment below if there's something that you've noticed in your own practice in terms of how you've been aging and how it's been shaping practice for you, or, you know, or does somebody call you Jack when really your name is Jenny? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.